Welcome to this video, where we will introduce, explain and show how to use the Talent Management Toolkit for universities that we have developed in the Erasmus Plus project entitled, Promoting Modern Talent Management Practices in Asian Higher Education Institutions, also known as aTM. In the aTM project, we developed 3 editions of the same toolkit, the European version, the Malaysian version, and the Chinese version. There are only 2 differences among these editions, the languages and the values and principles. We have seen that some specific values and principles can change depending on the country. In this demonstration, we will use the European version. As we have said, all editions are very similar, and the mechanism is the same. Inside the box, we find several elements. There are 2 boards, 271 different cards, a booklet with instructions and recommendations, and some colorful chits. The most straightforward way to show the parts and how the Talent Management Toolkit for universities works is to carry out an example. Here you can see the booklet, where we can find all elements and pieces of the Talent Management Toolkit for universities, different approaches about how to use the toolkit, and some recommendations and techniques for making the most of the toolkit. To start, we need to take one of the 2 boards. In most cases, we will begin with the Strategic Talent Management Board. This board has 4 sections: Talent Management Practice, Staff Target, Values and Principles, and Objectives. Let's see how to use and fill this board. The first step in the board is to decide which talent management practice we want to work in. The toolkit has 8 hex cards representing the different talent management practices in universities. Each talent management practice has a different color and icon. Later, we will see why it is so important. These talent management practices are attraction, recruitment, onboarding, training, mobility, promotion, performance, and offboarding, also known as exit management. The second step aims to define the target group of the talent management practice. The toolkit has 18 cards representing different university employee profiles, such as non-academic administrative staff, associate professors, international staff, and part-time staff. Combining these cards, we will define the specific target of the talent management practice. For instance, we can define a particular target combining the cards, associate professors, international staff, and full-time staff. If we decide to focus on a more general target, we can use just 1 or 2 cards. In case we need to add more than 3 cards for defining the target, we have enough space on the board to do it. The third step consists of selecting the core values and principles that we want to highlight in the process. The toolkit has 15 different cards. The board only offers 3 gaps to include or highlight 3 of them. We don't say that the rest of the values and principles are unnecessary, but now we want to prioritize these. For instance, if the university identifies a gender imbalance in some positions, they can prioritize gender equality. Or, if the university wants to improve its world visibility, it can prioritize transparency. Or, if the university has identified that the research level of academic staff is very high, but the teaching satisfaction has decreased in the last years, it can prioritize quality education. As we have said before, we are not saying that all these values and principles are unimportant. What we want is to highlight some specific ones depending on the talent management practice and the current situation of the university. In this case, we can highlight gender equality and transparency. Finally, the last step is to define the core objectives of the talent management practice that we have chosen previously. The toolkit has 95 different cards. These cards are classified into 8 groups, the same as talent management practices. We can identify them by checking that these cards use the same colors and icons as the talent management practice cards. These objective cards have information on the front and back. Let's see this information. To start, we have a unique ID in the top left of the front of the card. In the top center, we can see the icon of the talent management practice. Below the talent management practice icon, we have the objective of the card. And below it, we also have the name of the talent management practice. Finally, we have 3 circles at the bottom, one in red, another in yellow, and the other in green. These 3 circles represent the status of the development of this objective in the university. On the back, we have the same unique ID, and the icon of the talent management practice. We also have 2 sections, a description of the objective, with some recommendations and considerations, and a set of possible metrics that we can use to assess the objective's compliance level. The Strategic Talent Management Board has a privileged space for the 2 core objectives that we want to achieve related to the talent management practice. Then, we have space for adding other 4 objective cards. Finally, we have another area, if we need to include more objectives. Now, perhaps, you are thinking about how to select the best objectives for a specific talent management practice. The booklet that we can find in the box shows 2 dynamics that we can follow for this selection. However, you can follow any other process. For instance, you can apply a design thinking methodology to decide these core objectives, or perhaps you can create a simple questionnaire with all the objective cards and offer the opportunity for everyone to vote on the core objectives. In this case, we have chosen the following 4 objective cards. Card 1, suggesting to increase the number of international applications. Card 7, intending to promote diversity and exclusivity in the attraction processes. Card 11, proposing to make the recruitment information more accessible for the candidates. Finally, Card 15 suggesting to offer possibilities for interdisciplinary research. Finally, we need to show the development of these objectives in the university. Let's consider that we have been working for a long time on the objective of Card 1, so we add a green chit. About Cards 11 and 15, we have been working in the last months, so we add 2 yellow chits. Finally, the objective of Card 7 is entirely new for the university. As we haven't been working on this line, we will represent it with a red chit. This information can help us understand the current status of our talent management strategy for this specific talent management practice. After this last step, we could start with another talent management practice or the same talent management practice but for a different target. It's up to you. It's important to remember that this toolkit is a visual tool for promoting the search, research, reflection, and discussion among policymakers in universities. For most universities, getting these results could be enough as a first step in developing their talent management strategies. However, the toolkit also offers a second phase. This one focuses on specific actions to achieve the selected objectives. Let's see how to do it. Firstly, we need to take the Tactical Talent Management Board. This board has 6 parts. We can add an objective card and 3 action cards in each of these regions. How do we decide on the objective cards? One option is to take the objective cards from the previous board, the Strategic Talent Management Board. However, you are free to choose in a different way. As we can see on the board, we can choose 1, 2, or 3 action cards for each objective. The toolkit has 135 different cards. Let's see how the action cards are. These cards are also classified into 8 groups, the same as talent management practices. We can identify them by checking that these cards use the same colors and icons as the talent management practice cards and the objective cards. To start, we have a unique ID in the top left of the front of the card. In the top center, we can see the icon of the talent management practice. Below the talent management practice icon, we have the card's action. And below it, we also have the name of the talent management practice. Finally, we have 3 circles at the bottom, one in red, another in yellow, and the other in green. On the back, we have the same unique ID, and the icon of the talent management practice. We also have 2 sections, a description of the action, with some recommendations and considerations, and a set of possible metrics that we can use to assess the action's compliance level. As you can see, the information and the structure are the same as in the objective cards. To difference these cards, we have different card sizes. Again, maybe you are thinking about how to select these actions for each objective. The booklet that we can find in the box shows 4 dynamics that we can follow for this selection. However, you can follow any other process. For instance, we can choose the following 5 objectives and their corresponding actions. Again, remember that this toolkit is a visual tool for promoting the search, research, reflection, and discussion among policymakers in universities. In this specific case, we have chosen the following 5 objective cards. Card 1, suggesting to increase the number of international applications. Card 10, proposing to inform employees about their current situation. Card 4, offering making new employees more engaged with the university. Card 2, trying to facilitate interdepartmental mobility. Finally, Card 7, intending to promote diversity and exclusivity in the attraction processes. As we can see, most of these objectives and actions are related to the values and principles we have chosen before. In order to get more international applications, we suggest 3 actions. Action 1, focused on improving the job descriptions. Action 2, centered on enhancing the English competency of HR staff to give a better experience to the international candidates. And, Action 3, suggesting simplifying the application forms. With this last action, we also want to improve the candidate journey to our university. In Objective Card 10 about performance, where we want to inform employees about their current situation, we suggest 2 actions. The first action is number 5, creating an individual performance template as a guide. We can get more information and recommendations on the back of the card. We also propose action number 14, providing necessary assistance to employees with poor performance appraisals. In Objective 4 about onboarding, where we want to make new employees more engaged with the university, we suggest 3 actions. The first action is number 2, creating an onboarding process brochure for new employees. This action allows new employees to understand the process they will have to follow during the first months in the university. The second action is number 9, scheduling meetings with key people and departments for these new employees. These meetings will increase the new employees' engagement because they feel they are an essential part of the university. Finally, the last action is number 5, training on national language and national work culture. One of the main problems with international staff is understanding and adopting the national culture and its values and principles. We think this action is essential because we previously defined international staff as a target. If not, this card could not be the right one. Now, we could start doing the same with the other 2 objective cards. Until here, the demonstration of the Talent Management Toolkit for Universities. We hope you found it helpful. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. We appreciate your interest and attention.